Alrighty, folks, it's Farrell with Crowd Surfing, and we're down here in Promontory for the 149th anniversary of the Golden Spike. A very important part of history. Let's walk around and talk to some people and find out exactly what it's all about. He's gonna beat me up. Excuse me, Mr. Summers.
Oh my God! Ooh, let the dog out.
So Bill told me to come blindside you.
Get over here, blindside. This is the guys from. What do you want to call you guys? You crowd surfing today, or you channel surfing? Oh,
both. Both. Yes. And you're a sheriff today? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I can't decide. I'll put the coat on later, so I'll be incognito. I'll be undercover.
So
My glasses.
there, you can't tell what's going on in your eyes. Yeah. Can I get your name?
Val Roberts, Mark Forsgren,
Bruce Whiting,
Ricky Pond,
Bob Folkman,
Gene Williams.
And what role are you guys playing down here today?
we are playing the role of the Union soldiers.
So what part did they play in the celebration?
We do the flag ceremony.
Oh, no, it's a flag ceremony?
We got the flag ceremony that we'll be doing, so.
Can I get your name?
Anson Paisley Killen Safford.
That's a long name.
It is. I'm the first territorial governor of Arizona, just on my way there.
I was just going to ask him, what role are you playing here, but you told me.
Well, I present the spike that's iron, silver, and gold from the state of Arizona, or the territory of Arizona, I should say.
So this is quite an event.
Yeah, wait till next year. I mean, this is just kind of a precursor of what's going to go on in 2019 for the sesquicentennial. Can I spell that? No, I can't even spell that.
I can't even say it, so it's all right.
Really? Yeah, you could say it without spitting on me.
The soldiers were here for the Golden Spike, just in a ceremonial role, representing the U.S. government. And
Oh, so there was no worry of anybody attacking. It was just like representation?
ask that question. There was no threat of Indian attack or anything. It was ceremonial that the soldiers were here. There were 3 encampments of soldiers here in this general area down in Salt Lake and up in southern Idaho, and so there were U.S. soldiers available, and so they were part of the ceremony.
I'm from California. The governor, Ulysses S. Grant, President Grant, has just appointed me to be the territorial governor, so I was just on my way out, and they decided to present this spike to the...
Oh, so you were just like on your way passing through and just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Pacific from California, and we're here at the right time.
You had to wait for this to get over so you could finish your trip.
Yeah, that's right.
All righty, very good. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Next year is 150 years.
150
This is 149.
149.
Is there anything special planned for this year? Or are they going to save everything for the 150?
You know, I think there'll probably be an announcement today, kind of cool, but I'm not going to steal the thunder. You'll hear what's going on today, but special. It's kind of making a huge dress rehearsal of what we're going to be doing next year, and you'll see probably they had 10 to 12,000 people out here at the 100th year anniversary. You'll probably see double that at least.
We're all members of the Sons of Utah Pioneers, and we're always proud to help with these types of events.
So what are the Sons of the Pioneers?
Sons of the Utah Pioneers.
Utah, because Sons of the Pioneers is a
They
band.
sing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're not
So
them.
what exactly is your group and what do you do?
Well, we've got several thousand members. We have chapters all over the West and around the country, and we just try to preserve the heritage of the Utah Pioneers that came here in 1847 and settled a great deal of the West, the Great Basin, and so on. We've put up hundreds of markers that mark historical sites and so on throughout the West.
All right, can I get your name?
Chuck Holmes.
And can you tell me what it is that you're doing down here today?
Well, we're reenacting the May 10th, 1869 celebration of the joining of the Intercontinental Railroad and the pounding of the last spike and the ceremonial gold spike.
So what is your role in all of that?
I'm a fireman on the locomotives.
Where are they going to fit that many people?
You want to pan around us?
I was just gonna say.
show Bill what a stupid question that was.
Well, I was going to say, I guess that is kind of a dumb question, but, they say there's no such thing as a dumb question, but I challenge that notion sometimes.
I was just going to say, I would support you in that.
Bring your four-wheel drive. There's
We'll have to come early.
Yeah, just even get close enough to put bleachers up on the side of the mountain.
I think it's a really good bowl. I mean, that's a great idea. Why don't we just put bleachers up on the side of that mountain? That's not that far away.
Be like a rock concert. You have great big giant monitors so everybody can see what's going on.
We'll just talk loud. And we are actually part of the celebration. We get to drive spikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the commissioners at that time. I am Representative Nottingham. This is Representative
Sherman.
And Representative
Haynes.
We still do a number of things. We hold historical symposiums and various events. We publish a quarterly Pioneer magazine with historical stories and vignettes about pioneers. And I'm sure there's more things we do. We have a nice dinner every month in most of our communities.
That's the best thing right there. So the fireman was a person who kept the boiler going. Am I correct?
You manage the boiler. The most important thing, keep enough water in the boiler so you don't expose the firebox. And number two, you want enough pressure, steam pressure, to make the locomotive able to operate, and that's done through putting the fuel in, wood in the Jupiter and coal in the 119 that we're standing by now.
The Golden Spike, was it really a golden spike? Seems if it was gold, it would just mush.
It was really a golden spike. And they just set it in the tie. This laurelwood tie you'll be able to see.
They had a number of them that were gold plated with iron and silver. So
I thought they just did one. I thought it was just one golden spike.
If you stick around, we're going to teach you a thing or two. Aren't you from Ogden?
No, I'm from Idaho.
Oh, okay.
Idaho's that way, I think.
Because the Weber County Commissioner says that's the real golden spike, but we beg to differ because we're actually in Box Elder County at the site, and whatever Kerry Gibson says.
I'm not going to get involved in this.
Okay, I don't blame you. He'll be out here. Maybe we can refute that if he's out here someplace.
What would you say?
I say we sponsor a Pioneer Day in Brigham City on the 24th of July.
Oh, really? So you say that, it's interesting because, like, when I was a kid, history was like, it's so dumb. Why do we got to deal with this? And as you get older, you realize how important it is,
Yeah, it really affected who's here and why we're here and, where we are. Our grandchildren they don't know all of what came before them that makes their life comfortable and interesting and just being where they are.
So these actually run on coal and wood?
Coal and wood, just like they did in 1869, yes.
Wow, that's incredible. So I would imagine a fireman's job would be one hard, hot job.
I can't imagine it. As a volunteer here, and we run about maybe a half a mile back to the engine house and back and forth, we feed very little fuel, but the Jupiter, for example, would burn an entire load of wood that they would load up at the station and burn that in 15 to 25 miles, depending on how much grade and how much load they were pulling.
There's some really cool Chinese descendants. That's what it is.
You really think this is the 1800s, don't you?
I am in perfect character.
And with that, I guess we'll just end it so you stay out of trouble.
Okay, I'll stay out of trouble. We'll see you in a bit.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks for coming. Good to see you guys.
So if someone would be interested in joining up or maybe making a donation or somehow, how would they do that?
Well, we do have a website, www.sup1847.com, sup1847.com. And if you go into that website, it'd pretty much answer all your questions.
Very good. Alrighty, guys. Once again, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's a lot of wood.
That is a lot of wood to throw through the fire door. Yes, I can't imagine it.
I didn't even think about throwing the wood.
They're 30 inches long and pretty good chunks of wood, and they've got to be thrown through that fire door. And I can't imagine it.
Alrighty, well, something's going to happen here because everybody backed off, so I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
And thank you for talking with me.
Well, thank you.
Hold on, I'm going to fall over. I'm not careful. Alrighty, can I get your name?
Curtis Roach.
And Curtis, what is it that you're going to be doing down here today?
Today we'll be carrying the laurelwood tie-in, just kind of a background, so we don't have a speaking role.
Well, sometimes that's better. You don't have to talk. You can just lay the prop down and go.
Absolutely. You know, the fewer things I have to say, the better off we like it. So
Maybe you see if you can trip up Stan. He was saying you was his coat holder or something. I'm not sure what that means, but
actually, we'll have the mall for him, and he can't remember, so I actually have to point to which spike Stan is supposed to be driving. So, okay.
I always thought he was a little smarter than that. Evidently not, huh?
No, he's not. So we're good. So.
Your name?
Joan Hammer.
Nathan Hammer.
And what role are you playing down here today?
So I actually do tourism for Box Elder County, and I am just being an incredibly good sport to dress like this.
Well, I mean, like some of the guys, they got all kinds of nifty stuff. You just had to throw a dress on and go.
So I did have to I just had this in my closet.
Yeah, did you? You just have that just for such an occasion?
Well, and actually, I didn't even have to get it out of my closet. I wore it to church Sunday and just hung it across my bed, and it's just been sitting on my bed. So.
It's like Laura Ingalls' closet.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Artie, can I get your name?
Spencer Stokes.
And Spencer, what is this clock all about?
This is the countdown clock to the 150th anniversary of the driving of the Golden Spike at Promontory Summit. And that's going to be set off today to start that countdown.
What was that?
Nothing.
You sure? He don't watch the show. Don't worry about it.
No, he's going to get mad.
Oh, look how polite he is.
Kerry Gibbs is better, though, because I know Kerry.
Who's better?
Kerry Gibbs is better.
Oh, yeah, he was talking about Kerry Gibson earlier.
That's county commissioner for Weaver County. And I'm from Weaver County, so I have to say that, right?
Well, I'm not going to get involved in all that.
Yeah.
I want to get involved just enough to put the jab and then go away, you know? Alrighty, guys, I think you...
Get them jousting and then go, huh?
Yeah, I'm antagonizing them is what I'm doing.
Yes.
A really great seamstress made this for me just for this occasion.
Just for the Golden Spike. So is your role just like a casual observer, or you...
So I don't have an acting part. Nate, however, will be here in the cast. I just have to be here to give him support.
So you're a cheerleader. So what are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm just one of the period people. My dad actually years ago was in the reenactment for years, and so they tried to get family members to continue on the tradition.
There's just this one, or are there more?
There are multiple. We'll have them all over the state. We'll have this is the Play State Park, Heritage Park. We'll have one at the Capitol. We'll have one at Ogden Union Station. We'll have them all around to notify people of that May 10th, 2019.
You asked the questions, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You knew answer them.
Okay.
Alrighty, can I get your name?
Scott Nelson.
And Scott, what is it that you're playing down here today? What's your role?
I am Mr. Title from Nevada, and I present a silver spike to the completion of the railroad.
You know, everybody I've talked to, oh, I'm just this, or I'm just that. Have you had one person stand up and pound their chest and profess how important they are?
You'd have to look. I think the shinier the outfits, the more important they think they are.
That or people here are humble and...
Yeah, that could be.
We're just a team, you know. We like teams in Utah. Take note, you know. So we're just a team.
So it's 150th anniversary. People that understand this, how big of a deal is this whole thing?
Well, I think to put it in perspective, when the spike was driven, a cannon was shot out over the Atlantic Ocean and over the Pacific Ocean, and bells rang throughout the country from churches heralding this event. So this was a seminal event of the United States when this occurred, and it remains such today, being able to move transit and people and freight across the country.
I never even heard of a silver spike before. I just heard of the golden spike.
Well, there's the golden spike. I have a silver spike, and the representative from Arizona, he also presents a spike. Now, these were all ceremonial spikes, so when they put them in, they just tap them. They don't drive them in. And then the last spike is a real spike, and is connected to the telegraph, and it gets driven in. The others were just ceremonial.
This is us. This is our history. This is who our county is. A lot of us have lived here and grown up here, and it's just nice to be part of us.
And then the big one next year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. That's my family was back here in 1969. I was too young to remember, but I heard stories for years about how crazy it was on the 100th. I can only imagine what 150 is like.
It's not just a Utah event, it's actually a national event.
It's a national event, and it's actually a worldwide event. Much of this work was done by Chinese immigrants, Chinese labor. A lot of Irish workers built this. So it is an international event, and you'll see a lot of Chinese people here visiting with us today at the 149th.
The Golden Spike now is at the Stanford Museum in Stanford University.
Well, they should leave it here in Utah.
Well, it belonged to Leland Stanford, so he took it home.
Well, I guess if you own it, it's kind of...
He was the owner of the Central Pacific Railroad.
All righty, well, thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that moment for which you and the entire nation have been waiting. The driving of the last spike is at hand. At this point, we wish to commend both railroad companies and their workers for their efficiency and hard work in bringing this monumental undertaking to a successful fruition in a record 6.5 years, instead of the 12 years allotted to the venture.
He met John Wayne. He just doesn't remember it. We have pictures.
You met John Wayne, but have no recollection of it, huh?
No, he came out to this, and then the story was that he ditched his entourage. He liked to meet people, and so he went and met a bunch of people from Brigham City, and we got some photos taken.
Can you imagine that? I met John Wayne, but I don't remember it. Good thing there's photographic evidence.
Yeah.
What is your part in this today? What is your role?
I'm the co-chair of the statewide commission for the celebration of the 150th anniversary. So myself and another gentleman, Doug Foxley, we both grew up here in Box Elder County, and the governor appointed us to be co-chairs of the commission.
Oh, wow, very good. All righty, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Railroad officials, honored guests and friends, it is the privilege of the workers and officers of the Union Pacific Rail Company to add their congratulations upon the completion of this modern-day miracle. This silver-plated spike mall is symbolic of our good wishes.
I don't know if Bill's ready yet or not. What? Why are you looking at me?
So everybody stands and faces the camera? No.
Well, you know what? If you're going to look at me in the camera, you're in bad shape.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I am. Yeah. Should take a look at me. I'm not likely to go on Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Well, not this week.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How are you, Farrell?
Good. How are you? So,
Bill behind the camera. Great to see you. Just got back from the Pacific, didn't he?
I don't know where it was. Somewhere by Australia, taking a vacation.
That was awesome.
Umbrella drinks, I'm sure. Do you have dirt on Stan?
Monday morning, I have to go in and I want to pay checks, so...
This ain't going to show till Tuesday. You'll be all right.
Stan is an angel. He was sent from heaven.
Oh,
he is
come on.
The best boss ever.
We're talking about the same Stan, right?
As far as you know.
All righty, well, I guess that's all I'm going to get. Thank you very much. All righty, can I get your name?
Jack Albrechtson.
And Jack, what did you come out here for today?
I come out here every year in order to celebrate the events.
Oh, really? So you've been here every year?
Mostly, yes.
So how important, and this is a dumb question, I know, how important is this celebration and this this event in time?
Well, you know, what was amazing to me is as they introduced the reenactment and the different players and where they were from, the one that was most prominent was Ogden, Utah. Ogden, Utah. Ogden, Utah. There were a lot of key players in Ogden, Utah that were here 149 years ago and before they helped make this possible. And probably the great thing is that we'll be around during this sesquicentennial celebration next year. There'll be a lot of things our community will participate in remembering what happened out here then. And
Alrighty, can I get your guys' names?
Alan and Jeannie Hall.
And what are you guys doing down here today?
So we're part of the 150th commission that will be celebrating next year on this date.
So this was a really big event today. What can we look forward to at the 150?
Well, you know, I think you'll have 1 million people here. This will be a global event. Everybody on earth who has an interest in trains will look at this and say, we want to be here for the sesquicentennial of this biggest thing on earth. It's going to be fantastic.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. Boston and New Orleans have wired that they are ready and waiting. Indeed, throughout the length and breadth of the country, people everywhere are waiting at every Western Union office. As Mr. Schilling gives the signal that the last spike is driven. A magnetic ball will fall in the dome of the National Capitol. In San Francisco, a fire alarm bell will ring. A volley of 200 rounds will be fired in salute at Fort Point. And in Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell will ring again.
You really can't appreciate the sound of that horn and that whistle blowing like being right here on site. It's just really terrific.
With the steam engines, somebody made the analogy. It's like a living, breathing thing. You know, it's got its own personality. It's incredible.
Well, and they talked about the difference between a wood burning locomotive and a fossil fuel or a coal burning locomotive, and the difference between the two. And I mean, it was really fascinating. Great little lesson, especially here in the West, how we tied it all together. It was really neat to be a part of.
I used to be in a railroad club at one time. We used to collect railroads, trains and locomotives, and this is sort of like I stopped doing that, but this sort of helps me to relive it again.
You only have to come once a year. There's not a commitment like there is with the other stuff.
That's about correct, yes. Not as expensive either.
Yeah, I bet not. All righty, well, thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Gentlemen, are you ready? We're ready.
We'll have to be gentle with this one. Dr. Grant, be careful.
So we can look to even bigger things for the 150 years.
I think you're going to see the world come out to the biggest party in Utah ever next May 10th. It's going to be fantastic.
You don't want to miss it.
No. I mean, you want to book your room now.
That's right.
You're going to have to live with relatives' basements because there won't be any hotel rooms left.
Yeah, you can rent your house out and make a few bucks.
Actually, I think we're going to have the university rent out some space where the students live because seriously, we need space.
Gymnasium, everything.
Yeah.
All righty, well, thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate your time.
No, my pleasure.
Take a look right there.
There it goes. Oh, there's one right behind us, too. Huh. Yeah. They got the one behind. We're surrounded by trains.
It's really awesome.
All right, Jim. Well,
Well taken.
thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate your time. Oh, look at this. Oh.
For those,
wait till I tell you what he said about you, Stan.
This is Stan Summers. He just graduated from the state mental institution.
You don't
He
have to
Box
be
Elder
crazy.
County
You
Commission.
don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps.
And we also have somewhat that matching.
Oh, look, you guys are twins.
Twins. We'll have a calendar soon.
You guys be in a calendar soon? I can't wait. Yeah.
May.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
See you.
Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for me. Hey, make sure you're down here for the 150th year anniversary. I can't say social squins, I don't know what it is, but make sure you're down here for it. It'll be a good time.